Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grip Block Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. I'm Hunter, joined as always by Trevor and Konner. I didn't forget y'all's names. I just was on autopilot and almost forgot what I was about to say. So that's something. We got quite the show today. We'll start off with a little Patreon question of the week. Then we'll jump into a little WACO recap. WACO was WACO as always. Wacky WACO.
Nice.
And then Trevor's trivia. We're going to do a little bracket game. 'Tis the season, you know what I mean?
March Madness.
And then a little Grip Block power ranking to wrap it all up. But first, quick word from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Spring is sprung, and our friends over at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning, if you will. This year, Manscaped can help you get the perfect presentation on the beautiful face of yours with a new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. So make sure you look your best this spring by using code GRIPLOCK to get 20% off and free shipping over at manscaped.com, because it's time to tame your mane with the Wow, I almost just said the banter. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit. You should listen to the banter. The sun is peeking back out, which means you'll have to show your face in the daylight again. So use the kit to make your scruff look award-winning, whether you got a glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks like Kyle Klein. It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on skin, leading to a single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. Next, the kit has liquid goods to make you feel good, starting with the beard shampoo and conditioner. You can't treat your hair up top like your hair down low. Your hair down low. That's why the kit has a special shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hair, and replenish your beard's natural oils and promote beard health. The Pro Kit also has beard oil. Nutrient-infused oil relieves dryness both on the beard and skin beneath, while adding a little shimmer and shine to liven up your look. Cap it all off with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, and moisturizes, bringing that amazing scent of fresh eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. And don't forget,
smell really good.
Save 20% off and free shipping with code GRIPLOCKED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code GRIPLOCKED at manscaped.com.
Oh my
Wow, that's fun.
Focus on the face and use your Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game. All right, time for the Patreon question of the week. This one comes to us from Josh Alcock.
What's up, Josh?
If you're not a member of the Heiser Club, you can go over to patreon.com/foundation disc golf.
Josh is like a goated Heiser Club member too.
He's the one that aced in our faces.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And he's got good questions too.
He does have good questions, and this one earned him the question of the week, mainly because we answered it on the mailbag, which comes out every Friday, but then a tournament happened, so maybe it changed our perspective.
Okay, my perspective? Let's see if it changes.
Paradigm
Josh Alcock said, who do you think in MPO and FPO are the most overlooked players in the media/public perception's eyes?
I think I'd have to say Kyle Klein.
Well, see, can't say that anymore.
I honestly don't know if I think I said Joel Freeman as one of them last time, and I don't know if my answer changes. I think he's super overlooked.
I would agree.
I said Alden Harris.
I still think Alden's a good answer.
Yeah.
But I would say Joel Freeman is very overlooked right now. And I still say Matty O is a little bit.
Matty O is slightly. I think James Proctor
is as well. But
the proctologist.
But he's kind of emerging right now because
I don't think he's gonna stay.
That one.
I don't think he's gonna stay overlooked.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I think this is his first season full touring, right? So
yes.
So it
But previous years he would just kind of pop onto the scene, sneak in like the top 20, top 15, heck, even on lead card once or twice, I think, and then he was gone again.
James Proctor's good.
And so James Proctor, I think, is a good answer. Joel Freeman's a good answer. Matty O, slightly less. Nate Sexton, I think people forget how good he is because he doesn't play all the time.
He was in it to win it,
but he sneaks in there. On FPO wise, overlooked, overrated, or underrated. Man, this weekend really didn't help any of my takes.
Well, it doesn't help.
Kristin Tattar. I don't know. I mean, Ella Hansen, I think, is hyped up, and, she's up there. I'm just looking at the leaderboard here, see if there's anyone. I think Deanne Carey can have some sneaky good finishes, and you don't really know her name, but she also can not.
I don't think anybody's.
I don't really think there's anyone in FPO. I think, if anything, there's a lot of overrated FPO players.
Yeah.
Where I think there's some people that, people think are insane, and if you actually look at the leaderboard,
Anakin, though, sick name,
very cool name.
Anakin,
is this her?
That is a cool name.
Borderline Star Wars.
What was her first event? Did she play it all last year?
I
hadn't heard her name. I had not heard her name. Is there? I'm gonna have to go.
She's a lefty, right? She was
1099.
I think she was the one out there throwing lefty. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's see here.
Anakin
came in third at the Memorial this year.
Yeah.
Last year, she played Champions Cup and came in 27th, and that was it. Okay. Throw Pink Women, she came in 16th.
She kind of tear it up over in Europe though a little bit.
A little bit. European Open, she came in 9th, but then she won like the Solar Open. She won a few A tiers, the Cocodal Open.
One to watch.
Trevor, why don't you pronounce this one? You're much more.
The Norgemester Capet.
Norgesmester Capet disc golf.
Oh,
you know what? I've seen this too before. Not the Norges. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm reading a foreign language, but where is this at? I think this is in Norway, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in Oslo, Norway.
Actually, Norsmeister.
When they use disc golf over there, they use a K.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
interesting.
Cool. And it's one word in this.
Pretty sick.
Where is this?
Norway, Oslo.
Norway.
Yeah, actually, in Norway, the letter C doesn't exist.
My brother's been to Norway. Apparently, it's very sick place.
Norway is cool.
But yeah, there you go. We'll just go with Anakin. Anakin Steen.
All right, Anakin.
For FPO. All right, speaking of WACO, on MPO's side, we had Kyle Klein taking it down over Adam Hammes, and then Cole Redalen and Calvin Heimberg finishing third, tied for third.
Was Cole Redalen kind of in it a little bit last at Vegas as well?
I think so.
I was gonna say I feel like I'm seeing Cole Redalen. Maybe he needs to be Mr. Overlooked because I feel like low key Cole Redalen is like playing some good golf right now.
46.
Okay,
Vegas.
no, I guess not.
Never mind.
It's not.
I don't know who we're thinking of. Maybe did he have like one good round?
Maybe I don't know.
Let's look after round
I
one.
take back what I said.
After round one, he was probably in like 10th.
That doesn't matter.
Well, that's probably where you saw his name.
I take back.
That's probably where you saw his name.
Never mind.
He takes it back, Konner. Give it up.
He redacts for Dallin. FPO, we had Kristin take it down. Ella Hansen coming second. Owen Scoggins finishing third. One of the storylines actually happened before the event. You had Ricky Wysocki, Val Mandujano, and Kona Panis all out due to either injury or potential illness. Kona's looking into some stuff with her thyroid. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Ricky and Val, ongoing injuries. Ricky's wrist, he said during the press conference, it has not gotten better.
Yeah, dude. Val, it's a straightforward ankle injury. Yeah,
she was on the fence, maybe come back probably next week or something.
But Rick's injury is going to be something to keep our eyes on because at this point we have zero idea if he's going to get better at any point.
Well, I mean, yes, at some point it should subside, but
like it's so unpredictable.
Yeah, well, it's a flare up. I mean, this happened to him. I don't think it happened last year, but 2 years ago I remember it. Similar thing. It might have been his elbow 2 years ago, but a similar thing where it just flared. And that's something that like
he's a good player in Texas too.
It can happen at any point, and there's no warning before it. So like, it could be something that comes up before Worlds. It could be something that comes up before USDGC. It sucked not having him in the field. It also sucks not knowing. Like at this point, it's been a month, right? He dropped out of All-Star.
Yeah, been about a
then
month.
Vegas. Then we had an off week, and now WACO. That's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Of this risk, and in the press conference, he basically said like it just hasn't really gotten any better.
That's not good. I'm worried for the guy, and I'm like, we want to have Rick in the field, and in Texas, he's such a good player. It's a bummer. Like I'd hate to have a situation where it's like, all right, we got Eagle back in the field. Not that he really did much there.
Eagle's lack of forehand, I think, hurts him a lot more than people thought.
It would seem that way or something. But yeah, not having Rick out there, I mean, that's a bummer. We want to have our best players. And Rick is arguably the best player. We just we can't see him right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Where did Eagle even finish up?
It was not good.
35th. And where was he at Vegas?
Okay. Well, he clawed back a little bit to get to 35th because like he shot like even in one of the first or second rounds.
13th at Vegas, 35th in WACO. Not the start for Eagle McMahon.
Vegas, he was like knocking on the door and then played bad down the stretch to where I was kind of like, okay,
Yeah, he had a bad final
This tournament was not good for Eagle.
Which WACO, you have to take WACO
historically,
with a grain of salt.
I would say historically, I don't think WACO is a tournament that Eagle is going to dominate anyways.
Well, WACO is similar. Like on debate night, you were talking about Memorial, and then you asked about like the birdie or die type course. And my answer was basically like, you can have that low separation, exciting finish on courses that aren't traditionally birdie and die. I think that's what WACO is.
Right.
To a certain extent. Is like, there's a lot of holes, especially for MPO field, a lot of gettable holes, but it's not like boring birdie or die golf. So it creates that like, for instance, we'll talk about FPO first, but for MPO, in the final round, there was one point where there was, I believe, 20 players. There's a big tie for 17th, but I believe it was 20 players all within 2 strokes of the lead.
It was pretty nuts.
Like, but the course doesn't feel like it's causing no separation because there's a lot of big swing holes
Right.
and it sorts itself out by
Well,
the end.
and you can look at the scorecards pretty quick and see that guys take huge numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, yeah,
it's a management course, but it causes like a lot of congestion.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like you got to take Waco with a grain of salt. It doesn't tell you a full story. Same with Vegas. These first two events, we don't know much about the Open at Austin coming up this weekend because we haven't seen this course before. But these two events have never told you the full story of the season you're about to see.
yeah.
It's always like a good chance for players to get out, get a win early. And the two players that have won on MPO at least, and FPO really, they're both players I expect to be around all year.
Yeah.
Where like last year,
Yeah.
Drew Gibson winning Vegas, it was like, okay, was that a flash in the pan or is he going to make a comeback? So
Yeah, I will say that we've gotten through for both fields now. We've gotten through the first two events with players that we expect to win all year. We didn't see one of those like. I mean, imagine here if we get through the whole first part of the season and we don't like see because like we almost always, before we get out of Texas at the very least, see one winner where we're like, oh wow, like kind of a surprise win, and we haven't seen it yet.
yeah,
through two.
it would have been a good win for Ella Hansen in FPO. It wouldn't have been a surprise win.
No, that
I think she.
But it would have been her first.
Yeah.
So like it would have been.
It would have made my bold prediction right.
Yeah.
But I think like she's a player that
My bold prediction did not go so well.
she's a player that I don't think I'm not gonna be surprised when she wins one.
Yeah,
like it feels inevitable.
I do think that's coming. And Kyle, he took it away from Hammers, I guess, the most directly. And Hammers is another guy who like proven winner on tour.
Yeah.
He has a good chance of winning.
He won't
this year.
surprise us if he wins.
Right.
The story of FPO though was down the stretch. This tournament was Ella Hansen's. It was over.
Oh my gosh.
realistically.
Yeah,
It was
something.
over through 15.
Yeah.
15's a par 4 for them. Kristin and Ella both take pars. Kristin, people were coming after me for this take. Kristin was not on her game. She did not look good this
She
weekend.
threw some really bad shots
had a
and she
really-
missed some really bad putts.
Yeah, she had a really good round one. Course record 9 under. Even second round.
Awful.
5 under third round, which 5 under, if you watched it, she did not play good.
No.
She had some very clutch moments down the stretch.
She got hot to get back in it,
Yeah.
on that one stretch, but then like it was kind of like, oh, here we go, because then she gave it straight back.
Yep.
But I mean, bottom line is this tournament, from where it really matters, it starts with it was like 4 with 3 to play. Is that where we end up?
Yeah. Yes, 4 with 3 to play.
16 was the pivotal, was a really
Ella
pivotal
Hansen
hole.
was 4 up. We literally had a group chat, and we were texting back and forth because like it felt over, but the history of FPO tells you it's not over.
And I'm never the guy to call it over, but 4 with 3 to play, I was just in my mind. I'm thinking because what ended up being like the big decider is going OB on 16, which nobody goes OB left on 16. Like that was so like unexpected. I just didn't even think that could happen. Because when that happens, then it's like, well, I guess, now it is back. Because like we knew 17 and 18, there were swings. But if she could get through 16 and keep her lead intact.
If she had 4 with 2 to play, you can play 17 very safe
and
take some of the danger out. And same with 18.
I mean, at 17, she could have just chipped it all over the place.
It still wasn't. It's still Kristin birdies 16, Ella bogeys. 2 strokes.
Well, now and then it's a ball game at that point.
But it's now 2 with 2 to play.
But
and you're still thinking
huge swing holes though.
They are huge swing holes, but you're still thinking at least this is still Ella's turn.
She's in the driver's seat, yeah.
Decent drive on 17. Kristin Tattar had an incredible drive on 17. Got like down around the corner a little bit. Ella's second shot, OB.
Yeah. Well, and see what happened was on Ella's second shot, I knew she was back a little further, and here what she had was a tree just a little bit in her head to the left, to where she couldn't just push a hyzer super wide. She had to throw a shot flat or with a little bit of ante and play it out towards the water. And I knew that was going to be very frightening to do. And what did she do? She went nose up early left. She sawed it because she was scared of having to challenge that water. So very easy mistake to make in that situation, because it wasn't like she was where Kristin was, where she could just swing a hyzer.
Yeah.
She had to play a more aggressive forehand, and thought she got safe. She went super nose up, headed straight towards OB, hit a branch, kicked downwards.
Yeah, it was very
and
close to the
originally,
line.
Brian thought she was in, and then we all thought, oh, she's in, she got saved. And then they go to the camera, and she had landed just on the other side of the OB line. So huge mistake there.
How do you feel about that OB line?
Coming off the wall, I don't know. I thought it was kind of harsh, but also
The only thing,
there's no reason really to land there.
well, the only thing I don't like, because it comes into play more so towards the basket.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about it is like it's very arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like because the wall is up against the tree line, like the tree line being OB makes sense. But then when you got to pull it like a meter off the wall, so that the wall doesn't protect it, it kind of makes it like if the wall wasn't there, the OB line would have been up against the trees, and then Ella would have been in bounds.
Yeah, I mean,
but it is what it is.
It was there what it is. At that point with that forehand play there, I think right there, and I don't really know how safe she was trying to play it with that forehand, but like you don't need a birdie. You can go into 18, a stroke advantage, and be fine. And Kristin still has to get up and down, which is not an easy task. And guess what we found out? She didn't do it.
Yeah.
So right there, I'm thinking I would not have been shocked to see her chip up, lay up, and then just chip up and take her medicine there, because going for it there, because then Kristin throws a decent upshot and then misses her putt.
Yeah.
So Ella could have played that differently.
I don't mind the decision to,
but yeah,
be aggressive.
I mean, she was in fine position to like.
Again, you have to think Kristin's getting up and down. You can't bet on Kristin to not.
Yeah, but you have to bet that you can afford. You can afford.
Yeah,
for her to
she
get
could
up
have
and down.
afforded a stroke, which she gave anyways.
She gave it anyways.
When she went OB, she probably thought she gave 2.
Yeah. But she
had a stroke lead going into 18.
Yeah, she got bailed out by the missed putt because and then who knows what happens if that putt goes in. But yeah, then we go to 18, and this is where it gets crazy.
So Kristin Tattar she's down by 1, has the tee. At this point, from what I understood, Kristin allegedly doesn't know where she's at. I remember her looking at her caddy, looking at scores, walking up to 17.
If she said she didn't know where she was, I can't really judge her decision making here, because apparently,
regardless, you got to know where you're at. So either she did know where she's at and she it was a little bit miscommunicated, or she didn't. But regardless, she lays up first,
which I don't think. I don't think Kristin has the power to get across.
I think she does, but I think it would have been asking everything of her.
Yeah. So I think, and here's what I'll say is like, a lot of people would probably be like a lot of people point to this and be like, well, see, the conservative play worked here, but laying up on that hole is not a cakewalk. The layup shot is very easy, but you have to make sure you land close enough to the water that you're not giving yourself extra distance, and then you're carrying over water with a strong wind, and that island, if you go long, which you're probably going to, that's your mistake. You can leave it short in the water, or if you go long, you're now putting back towards the water, probably with a fast green, probably guaranteed 30 feet. So her going to the layup spot is not saying I'm just going to play it for par, or I'm not trying to take the win. There's no easy way to play that hole, especially under pressure. So I didn't have a problem with that play at all. I thought she was playing for birdie, because I don't think the eagle was really going to happen ever. And also, she had the tee. So it's different. It would have been a different story if Ella had gone for it. This isn't like Ella went for it, had a 30-foot putt, and then Kristin decided to lay up. Then we'd be probably saying something else.
Well, the other thing you have to think through, too, is Ella round 1, 3'd 18.
Yeah.
Ella round 2, 4'd 18.
Right.
So now you're in round 3.
So a 3 looks really good to Kristin.
Kristin is probably thinking, like, going for it makes Ella's going to have to execute something.
Yeah.
Ella steps up to the tee. All logic points to match Kristin's shot, layup, because you're up by 1, and you're in a position where you just watched her, and she didn't. Now, if Kristin had put it inside the circle, go for it.
Yeah.
Ella grabs her DD3, it looked like, a distance driver, available at foundationdisc.com, and actually it might not be, maybe out of stock, doesn't matter. Pumped it.
Pulled it right. Just straight OB going for it. Laser.
And
I think
I don't understand this play. I don't understand, like, first off, some people were trying to compare this to Kevin Jones' strategy. So let me just explain to you why this is a completely different scenario. Kevin Jones in this scenario was Ella Hansen. So, and Kristin Tattar was Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah.
For this scenario to have been the same, Kristin would have had to have put it to like 25, 30 feet across the water. And then Ella would have had to lay up. And you know what I would have said?
Right.
Why the heck did Ella lay up? But if you go back to Vegas, if Calvin had laid up and then Kevin laid up, I would have never questioned it.
Right.
Because he was playing the cards dealt to him. It would have made perfect sense. So this decision here is flip of that, right? Like the aggressive play in Ella was the wrong play here because Kristin had laid up. All she has to do is match Kristin's layup, which is not an easy task, but it's a heck of a lot easier than going across the water on your first 468 feet.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she was definitely like, I think in her mind, and I heard people saying like, well, it was the only shot she practiced. Which,
well, that's
like,
your fault.
I hope that's not true.
You gotta practice.
I'm sure.
that.
I'm sure she threw the layup at least once in practice.
Well, you also the drop zone. If I'm not mistaken, it used to be like you had to practice the shot from across the water because if you never got inbounds, you go in the water, you're playing from across the water.
I believe so.
So at some point, you had to practice the up shot. Yeah. And like, if you didn't practice the layup shot, like, I don't understand.
I get where her mind was. Her mind was thinking, I can throw this shot. I've got the tailwind. I easily have the power, and I'm going to put the thing on ice if I get it over because then I'm basically jumping up or laying up and putting out. And I get that. You know, she didn't want to have to execute 2 shots. She wanted to have to execute 1. And I think that probably her missing right there was probably never even in her back of her mind. She was probably thinking, I'm going to throw this on hyzer as hard as I can. I'm easily going to clear it in this tailwind. I have enough power. I don't think that her pulling it flat like that was ever even in her mind. So I feel for her there because, like, yeah, if she had just iced it and put it over, like, that'd been awesome and, like, wow, what a play. But it's, you know, it's one of those things where when you don't make it happen, you always got to wonder yourself, why not lay up there? Why not play the match? Because, I mean,
it still wasn't over, though.
No, it was not over yet because now all she has to do is get up and down.
She went across.
Yeah.
Okay. OB, that sucks. Just got to get up and down from 250, 200, even less out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's probably like 200 out. Not the easiest up and down, but she has, you know.
It's scary. You are looking kind of at the water.
You definitely should be giving yourself an inside the circle putt, and then you got to make Kristin make her putt to get into a playoff after you would get up and down. And she basically
put it in circle 2.
She threw it low and tentatively. It got shoved down a little by the wind.
Ella is a relatively new player to winning on the big scene, like being in that position where you're down the stretch. And having just juiced one OB,
so hard
fluffing
to
the upshot is like, okay, yeah, that made sense.
Basically, from the time she threw OB on 17, because her drive on, like, she regained composure after the mess up on 16 by throwing a good drive on 17 into a decent spot and being like, okay, I'm back in control. But from the time she threw that shot OB on 17, which was just like, I mean, an unfathomable mistake to leave it OB, especially where she threw it OB.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even throw it into the water. I like skied it. Such a big mistake. From that point on, it was just shaky. You know, you could tell she lost her composure, and that upshot was just kind of the nail in the coffin. Obviously, she ran the jump putt, missed it, decent bid, but missed it, I believe, low. And then you got Kristin with a crosswind, slightly crosswind, about slightly, like maybe a little under 30 feet for the win.
27 is what they gave her on
27. So, and then Kristin walks up. She's holding her putter. She's standing there. Wind is kind of gusting, and then goes to her bag and grabs another putter. She now has 3 putters in her hands, a blue one and her 2 white putting putters. She switches to the blue one in her hand, is looking at the basket. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's about to lay up.
I'm wondering if that switch was more because of the wind, if it was like a disc to fight that.
Well, I had 3 things going through my mind. Either A, she might want...
putter.
Yeah. She might, A, be going to a different putting putter to literally just try and putt against the wind. B, she's laying up and just taking her odds in the playoff because that's what would have happened if she laid up. Or C, she doesn't really realize where she's at and is going to think she can lay up for the win here. And then, obviously, whatever clicked. She quickly switched putters and then, almost without thinking about it, just throws a dot.
I think she knew where she was at, and I think that it was a really windy situation, and she was thinking, like, do I want to go? Because she putts with Pures. I didn't realize she putted with Pures until like midway in this tournament. I saw that Pure stand, and I'm like, Pure's kind of a terrifying putter in wind.
I don't know, man.
So I think that's what was going on. Is like she didn't want to putt in the wind, and then she was gonna putt with like a more premium plastic or like a more overstable putter. And then the wind died down enough that she just like drilled it ice cold.
And everything in the world, like she had not been putting well the later in that round, and everything in the world pointed to her missing that putt, and then all of a sudden she just switched and made it dead center like it was nothing.
Well, that's the thing is, like, Kristin
just
is a proven, like, Kristin's put herself in that position so many times.
Yeah, she's had the pressure putts.
And like,
well, if you Champions Cup last year didn't work out so well, but
true. Well, that was a slightly different situation, but I feel like
She had a putt for the win.
if I'm in FPO, but it was a little bit longer, and she just choked up her putt for the win was the
She missed the putt for the
2.
win. Well, I don't think it was circle 2.
Her putt for the
I
win.
think it was like
the
circle's
step putt,
edge.
was it?
I think it was circle's edge, and then she missed the other circle's edge putt
because that one rolled out, and then
yeah.
the comebacker she missed for the tie.
Yeah.
Which goes against what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But I was about to say, if I had to pick someone in FPO to make a pressure putt for the win for my life, I'm picking Kristin Tattar every time.
I might be taking Katrina Allen at this point.
Well, she has to be in contention for the win first, so that'd be a little tough. 9 strokes to make up before she has a putt for your life.
I mean, she won the last
and
event.
then Paige Pierce, her debut. Enough about Ella and Kristin. Ella had a great tournament. Ella will be a champion at some point.
She will win. It's just
probably
tough.
this season.
It's tough because we've
especially with the more golf courses we go to.
I know, but the problem is with Ella is we've seen this play out a few times now where she's squandered.
She's kind of the Corey Ellis of FPO right now.
Yeah, and like it's tough when you give up one like this where like it's tough to be in a better situation to win than 4 with 3 to play.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to close out way more challenging places than that to get a win on tour, and you're almost always going to have to because there's too many players that will catch you.
I think that she'll win from behind. I think that
potentially, yeah.
I think that she'll be a Kristin in a scenario where a player is falling apart and she just has to, because like Kristin down the stretch, birdie on 16, not a big ask. Par on 17. Anything on 17 is a decent ask, but it's not as big of an ask as her having to birdie it. And a birdie on 18, again,
it's a good birdie.
It's a good birdie, but it's not like Kristin down the stretch. It wasn't asked to do anything astronomical.
No.
Even 15, she parred. She wasn't asked from 15 on to do anything crazy. I think Ella will win in that type of scenario.
Yeah,
where
and
she's
she
coming
missed
down the
a
stretch.
Short putt on 15. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, where Ella's coming down the stretch and someone basically hands it to her. Like she doesn't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Versus 4 with 3 to play and the last 2 holes you want strokes and then you mess up on 16. Like 16's drive, I don't know what happened. But once she does that, then you're thinking of like the last 2 holes you're about to face and you just gave up 2 strokes on your lead. That's a tough spot to be in.
When you get into these pressure scenarios and you fail and you lose, there's a couple things that can happen in this sport of golf, right? You can either A, learn from it and be better next time and understand, be better at calming yourself, realizing, hey, I've been here before, or B, that can add up on people. Like there are people who will that'll happen enough times where like it'll really start getting in their head like, oh boy, here I am again. And it's just gonna be a mental battle. But I think once she's able to overcome the first time, which it will happen, she's talented, then hopefully that'll solve a lot of the problems. But
yeah, it's similar to Eagle.
Yeah.
Eagle had a similar career trajectory
that's
where
true.
he was the guy that couldn't win.
Yeah, but what I will say though is, Kristin did not have her best stuff.
No.
And she still won.
Yeah, tough.
That
scenes. Was the big story overall.
For the FPO division.
Is like you watched this FPO coverage and Kristin had a great round 1, 9 under. Round 2 and 3, Kristin did not play anywhere close to her standards.
Yeah.
And she still won.
Yeah.
She still walked away with the win. Mainly, one of the other storylines is Katrina Allen finished at 5 under for the tournament in 10th place, and Paige Pierce finished at even for the tournament in 16th place. Now, again, you got to take WACO with a grain of salt. Paige never, at least in my memory, I'd have to look at stats to back up what I'm about to say, but I don't remember Paige ever really playing that good at WACO. She might have won it in the past at some point, but like his recent memory, I think last year she came in a similar spot, like similar in 15th, 10th, somewhere in that range. Like going into this weekend, I wasn't thinking Paige is about to win. It is tough that this is the first time we've seen her, and she finished in 16th. That doesn't help. But for some reason, Paige and WACO's course don't really go well together.
Paige and Kat are so puzzling because like they're such course-dependent players these days, it feels like.
And they used to not be that way.
They used to not be that way at all. It used to be like anywhere they were at.
Is it the field getting better, or what is it?
I don't know, because like Paige especially, like there will be certain events this year, Jonesboro, for example, or wherever, where it's a little more open, and like you'll be like, how does Paige ever lose? Like she looks so good out there, like she has all these shots.
Yeah. And
then you have an event like this, and you're like, just like, what's going on?
Yeah, Paige hasn't won WACO since 2018.
It's been a while.
In 2018, let's see, she beat Sarah Hokum by 1 at 7 under par across 3 rounds, and I believe that was when par was softer out there, and Kristin shot 14 under across 3 rounds. So 7 under would have put her in 8th place this weekend. So just something to think about. But Yeah, I don't think you learn too much from Waco. You learn that Kristin Tattar hasn't finished outside the top 3 in now a full calendar year. But you don't learn too much until we start getting open at Austin. I don't know what the rest of the Texas swing is going to teach us.
Yeah.
It's really once we get towards a little bit later in the season that you start really seeing people separate. But MPO side, different story. First off, I think I have norovirus or something. Because there's something wrong with my gut, and I'm never trusting it again with my Emerson Keith pick. Because
what did he end up doing?
You don't want to know, man. I think he's in like 50 something. I just had this feeling.
I mean, you just missed him. You just missed him.
I was just gonna command F him.
Well, he's about one scroll up. Just one little scroll.
52nd. All right, I was all right. My gut was telling me that Emerson Keith was about to pop off. I thought Emerson Keith was about to pop off and win this thing.
I didn't pick him for anything, but I was kind of thinking like, yeah, it could happen. I mean,
and he came 52nd.
It can be a weird tournament. I mean, there's Isaac Robinson chilling down there, really good player. Like, you know,
wacky Waco, man. But the MPO stories, I mean, it was electric. Again, I talked about this earlier. At one point, I think there was like 20 people on MPO with 2 strokes.
I was so like,
I thought we were destined for like a 3 or 4 man playoff.
I did too. And you know what's the crazy thing about the FPO field is like you find yourself in those scenarios so often throughout the year where it's like, how is it not going to be a 5-way playoff? And then they just find a way to separate themselves. Like somebody, you know, just takes over. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at UDIS just getting anxiety. Like, I mean, there are so many names here that could win this, and I can't watch them all at once. Like, I was so, like, it was so hectic. So many people in it. But, like, I mean, down the stretch, really, it ended up being, in my mind, I was really keeping an eye on Kyle Klein, obviously, as he was surging. Hammers, who, you know, after that ace especially, really kind of threw himself into the mix, back into the mix. And then you had Heimberg. For a while there, I was like, oh, I think Heimberg is going to go back-to-back. Like, I think Heimberg's going to win. Ultimately, it kind of comes down to the stretch. You know, a lot of guys just kind of fell off the pace. A lot of times you see that with those early surging rounds. Those guys eventually kind of fall off the pace because early on, you don't really pay attention to what hole they're through, and you're just like, there's a million people in it.
Yeah.
But then the top guys do eventually start to pull away, especially on a course where birdies are heavy. So, like, you know they're coming.
Yeah.
And you kind of have Hammers and Klein down the stretch. And Hammers makes a good putt on 15, good putt on 16. And then going into 17, Klein is obviously ahead of him. And Kyle is just making birdie after birdie after birdie. Kyle birdie 17. So Hammers basically is one behind the pace. And he knows at this point he needs the birdie 17. He gets to a decent position off the drive, but then kind of stalls off his upshot. It's that same thing where there's a lot of players where they get to a spot, like kind of where Hammers was, similar to Ella, where they can't really just push a hyzer super easily from where they're at because they're further back. Kyle was a lot further forward. You have to kind of throw it flat, I feel like, and challenge the water, which is horrifying.
Well, Kyle challenged the water.
Yeah, exactly.
It was terrifying.
And so Adam goes early right, ends up with an outside the circle putt, almost makes it, just splashes it out a little bit to the right. And at that point, I believe at the actual timeline, at that point, Kyle had already put it to 20 feet on 18. So you see Adam's reaction, and I think he might have already known that he had lost. But then obviously Kyle's ahead of him, and once Kyle makes that putt, I mean, Kyle clutched up. He went birdie, birdie, birdie to finish, right?
Yep.
And, you know, birdieing 17 and 18 down the stretch, especially getting 18, I mean, throws it right at the basket, skips short side, and then makes the crosswind 20-footer, and that's the tournament.
Yeah.
And like,
Hammers had a shot to birdie 18, but laid up to take solo second.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered.
It would, because if he would have made it, yeah, he'd have been 30 under, but he knew if he laid up, he had solo second versus a 3-way tie for second. But
Kyle Klein, man.
I mean, Hammers starting the round, birdies won. That par stretch of 2 through 5, at that time, there were so many people in it that his name was just falling down the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And you were starting to think, like, I think the commentators were even saying, like, Hammers has got to get something going.
Yeah, birdie,
then
birdie,
he
ace.
has this filthy 40-footer, like, zigzagging through 2 trees, hits that, and you get the feeling like that's a big momentum shift. Next hole, birdie. Next hole, ace.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, that ace.
Out of nowhere, he's back in.
You very seldom see aces in disc golf be like such a huge part of the tournament. I know like the one that Paul had in the Vegas Challenge years and years ago, like people play that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But you rarely see like you see aces all the time at tournaments, but you rarely see them be such a huge factor in the event. Like, oh my gosh, that's huge. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like Ham has just put himself back into play with an ace. Like, how sick is that? And if that thing had missed the basket, it was going 80 past.
Yeah, he was going to be struggling for par.
But yeah, he put himself back in. And at the end of the day, the difference between what I've seen out of the MPO and FPO divisions so far this year through 2 events is I've seen, and a lot of this comes down to parity. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is not necessarily just like, this is how the FPO play, this is how the MPO play. Because there are so many more talented, there's so much more depth in the MPO field just because of the numbers of people that play it, right? This is a numbers game. Every event, you're going to have so many more people that have a chance to have a good round. So in FPO, we've seen 2 finishes in a row where players have kind of just tossed it away for somebody. Whereas in MPO, Hammons didn't throw it away. You know, he made a mistake on 17, but he didn't really throw it.
He made one mistake.
He shot 9 under. Like, he played a good tournament, but Kyle Klein just went out and took it. And you could just see on the last day, you looked at that leaderboard and you saw everybody charging like that. Somebody had to take it. Nobody was going to give it to anybody.
You knew, well, because what happens, I think, more so is you had players that were in contention that if it was just them and Kyle Klein, they would have coughed it up and given it to him.
Yeah.
But you have so many players in between those people that you have someone like, I'm trying to think, like James Proctor was in there somewhere. Now he's in 10th place. He dropped down 8 spots. He was in second. He shot a 4 under.
Right. It's because there's more players.
If it was just him and Ham is in it, then yeah, James Proctor would have like coughed it up a little bit.
Right.
It's different points. But because there's so many players,
exactly,
James Proctor just disappears from coverage.
Yeah, the depth of the field in MPO is so strong now, and it was just like what we're seeing in FPO
in 2015.
Only 16, a few years
17.
back, but because the depth of the field is so good now, I mean, especially you go to a course like this where it's shreddable, and you've got Joel Freeman early in the round 9 under through 8. And like charging up the board. I mean, guys, and that puts pressure on guys, man. When you're the leader and you are sitting there waiting.
The pace is starting to get set where you're like.
You're sitting there in the clubhouse thinking, welp, I got to go out and shoot at least double digits today.
Yeah, you're like, I know there's birdies out there, but it's a difference of like.
Yeah, you're watching your name drop and you haven't even hit the first tee yet.
That's also a modern era disc golf thing because before, like, you had to go back a ways to not have full live scoring, but before it was like.
You didn't know what guys were doing out there.
You had your card that's following you, and you could see your top 4.
Yeah.
But, like, if someone's charging from third card, you didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you look at, like, I think some players just, like, don't look at UDisc until the back 9, which I think is a smart way. Because then it's just, like, the front 9, just go play as good as you can and then see where you're at. But, like, if you're, like, sitting there before you tee off and you're looking, you're starting to do the math of, like, with the pace that guy's on, I'm going to have to shoot 10 or 11 under today.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of different pressure. But, like you said, Adam Hammons came into the final round with the lead. Shot a 9 under.
Yeah.
But Kyle Klein shot a 13 under. It was incredible.
13 under from the chase card is going to be tough to deal with. Like,
and Cole Redalen, shout out to him. He only had 1 par the entire day.
He played a good round as well.
He shot 10 under. He threw in 2 bogeys and 1 double.
Heimberg's round wasn't that bad either.
Shot a 9 under.
The difference was you didn't have to shoot a good round. In that round, you had to shoot a great round.
Yeah. Kevin Jones back in contention a little bit this week. Not contention for the lead. Top 5 finish, though. Solid tournament overall.
He's hung around now 2 weeks in a row.
Now, week 3 is the important week. Because we had Luke Humphreys hanging around for 2 weeks last year. Week 3 is the important
Texas.
the Open at Austin, we don't know.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this Open at Austin.
I'm liking Kevin Jones' trend this year.
I am too. Through 2 rounds, or through 2 events, he looks good. Hey, maybe this will be Kevin Jones' year. And
I would love that.
That would be great.
I've been waiting for Kevin Jones' year for years.
Yeah, that would be great for KJ to have his year because he looks solid. You know, this is a very technical course. This is a course that favors Kevin a little bit. You know, you throw some really technical shots, and I think he's good at that part of the game.
Here's the thing I'll say about WACO this year.
It's a good event.
That's different than previous years. At least last year, because last year's the one most fresh on my mind, is I'm looking at this leaderboard, right? And I have to get down to Paul Oman before I see a name that I would be genuinely surprised if they had a Pro Tour win this year. Like, that's just how deep the field is. He's in 13th.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle Klein just won.
I mean, Cole Redalen would be a surprise.
Cole Redalen wouldn't surprise me.
Why? He's had one good event so far.
No, he last year he's had several solid events. Like, he's proven
he would surprise me if he won
He's had solid
this year.
events. I'm not going to be surprised. It won't surprise me if he wins. I think it'll be an event like this was a good shot for him. I think Idlewild will probably be a good shot for him. It's going to be a weird event if he does.
I'd also be surprised if Kale won this year.
Really?
Well, yeah. Like that's just going off of like Like there's just a difference.
Like
And
if Kale Visca wins, I'm not like
but you and I,
jaw on the floor like, where did this guy come from?
Well, no, I wouldn't be doing that, but I'd be
if
surprised.
Paul Oman won, I would be like, what
I'd be surprised because like you look at who wins year to year, and you might only get one or two all year long that are even the least bit surprising. Like
Isaac Robinson and Cole Redalen, I think, have a similar feel.
Isaac Robinson?
Not Isaac Robinson this year. Isaac Robinson, when he won last year. What happened last year? He came in third at Waco, under the radar. Cole Redalen just came third at Waco, under the radar.
That's one event worth of precedent.
But I'm saying Cole Redalen, let's look at Cole Redalen's last year. He's had some solid finishes where like...
I mean, maybe I'm just missing him, but I didn't see him a lot last year.
Not like, wow, top 5. But let me look at his last year. Maybe I'm just like overhyping him in my head, but this kid is not bad. 26th at Vegas last year, 15th at Belton last year. I mean, those aren't bad finishes.
Keep reading.
Well, I'm not reading all of them.
Oh, you using cherry pick?
Well, yeah, I'm saying I said he had some solid finishes. 15th at D-Glow, solid finish. Like, yeah, he finished 85th at USDGC.
Well, but 100%. But did he have anything better than 15th?
No, he had 15th twice.
It's okay. So like that's what I'm saying.
Those are solid finishes,
right? But that's not. But 15th and in contention to win, two different things. On the Pro Tour, winning is so hard.
He was just in contention to win this weekend. So
there's one.
Now 15th in contention to win. 2 checks on Trevor's list. Next step's a win.
No, next step. No.
What's the next step on your list?
Guys like Kevin Jones have been contending for the win for like 3 years.
Yeah, but Cole Redalen just got there.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not ready to jump on the Cole Redalen bus because he came third in an event.
I'm not saying he's going to be a winner. And he has. Like, I was just saying he wouldn't surprise me if he won.
He would surprise me.
Just as like an innocent bystander, I feel like there has to be something put on the line for this. If Cole Redalen wins, then Trevor has to do something.
Well, I mean,
but then I'd have to do something if he doesn't win. I don't think he's going to win. I'm just not going to be surprised if he does.
I would be surprised.
So okay, I'm willing to put something that like is heavier on you than me for the bet because like.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm pretty confident that Cole Redalen will not get a win this year, and it's not because I don't think he's good at disc golf, but I'm just saying it's so hard to win on the Pro Tour this year.
Yeah, I agree.
If I gotta say,
I'm just not going to be surprised.
If I gotta say right now that Cole Redalen is going to go out there and he's got to beat Hammonds, Kyle Klein, Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, Ewan McMahon, Kevin Jones, like he's got to go beat all those guys one week. I mean,
he just beat everyone but one of those players
Trevor
this weekend.
Hates Cole Redalen.
There's two really good guys he didn't beat. 2 proven winners.
You said Adam Hammonds, Paul McBeth, Eagle McMahon, Ricky Wysocki. Okay. They're all below him except for Adam Hammonds.
That list was obviously to be continued. I was just listing the proven winners.
Keep continuing. Calvin Heimberg beat him. Tied with him, sure.
Hunter, he didn't win.
James Conrad
My point is you have to beat all of them to win a tournament. You don't just get to beat most of them.
I just said, I didn't say he's going to win this year. I said I'm not going to be surprised if he does.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so what are we going to put in the line?
I don't know. Like, what do you? I don't.
If he wins, you got to pay. You have to get me Chick-fil-A once a week the rest of the year.
Heck no.
And if he doesn't win, I'll get you Chick-fil-A once.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous bet. That's so expensive.
I set the line out.
That you literally just like that. That is literally like a $400 wager on my end for $10. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel
odds.
like that's yeah.
Yeah, well, of course you take that.
Okay,
bet, Hunter.
once a month.
What the heck?
You give me Chick-fil-A once a month the rest of the year if he wins. From the point he wins on.
The problem is
he's probably gonna win in August.
The problem is the most I can win out of this is $10.
And I'll give you Chick-fil-A once.
That's what I'm saying. Like the odds aren't really like that enticing to me because I'm only gonna win one meal.
Well, I'm just saying that like okay, you want me to up it to once a month and you have to buy me Chick-fil-A every day?
No,
because you can win more.
Who is Cole Redalen sponsored by?
And no, he's DGA now, right? Yeah, he's DGA.
Gotta go back to them studies, man.
Hey, every time I put a DGA bet on, I've won. So
I would.
Something to say.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I really don't think he's gonna win this year. I would say.
That's what I'm saying. How confident? We really don't think.
I would give you Chick-fil-A once a month for the rest of the year if he wins.
From the point he wins on.
Point he wins on, and you'd have to give me Chick-fil-A once.
All right. Yeah.
So you're gonna buy me Chick-fil-A and.
I'll buy you Chick-fil-A in November if he doesn't win.
Yeah.
And then I'll have Chick-fil-A.
I mean, that's just free Chick-fil-A.
I'll have Chick-fil-A from September on.
I'm not trying to
he's
come after Cole Redalen. Like,
sounds like you are.
It's really hard to win on the Pro Tour.
I just am not going to be surprised if he does. That's
like,
what I said.
There's not like you don't like last year.
You want to make a similar bet for Kale Visca, different restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, I don't.
Well, the problem is
Kale's going to win either.
Kale's going to play a lot of MP40.
Yeah, like.
That's the only problem.
My point is not Cole Redalen is not good. My point is Cole Redalen does not have a lot of precedent other than one event to say that he contends for the win, and winning on the Pro Tour is really hard.
Didn't either.
Isaac Robinson last year was practically his rookie season.
This is practically Cole's. Cole's like what, 21, 22?
That doesn't have anything to do with your rookie season.
All right, let's go back to Cole Redalen.
We're
going to move on from this after this.
Last year he played a bunch of Pro Tours. I just saw it.
Yeah, but Isaac Robinson had played several before because he wasn't eligible to be a rookie.
But he was close. He was like one off, wasn't he?
2021, Cole Redalen played Worlds and looks like 3 Pro Tours. 4, 5, 6. He played he toured at the end. Came in 7th at Ledgestone.
The thing about Isaac Robinson too is
Something
he's like
about-
the rawest putter on the face of the earth. Like that's why he wins tournaments.
You don't need to be throwing stray bullets at my boy Cole, okay?
I'm just saying like there's
It's
a
time
reason.
for a fan favorite segment, Trevor's Trivia. Today's
gosh.
question from Trevor is going to be: how many times will Cole Redalen win in 2023 Pro Tour?
Just crazy, dude.
No, I just said I wouldn't be surprised if he won, and I stand by that. Like if he wins, I'm not going to be like, oh.
You're allowed to stand by that.
Will you be more surprised if Paul Oman wins than Cole Redalen?
Would I be more surprised if Paul Oman won?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's essentially we're on the
Is it
same
Paul
scale.
Oman the guy that makes salad dressings?
No,
Paul
he's the guy
Newman.
that like Paul Newman. He pumps his drive and then slowly brings it back and then launches it. That's Paul Oman.
right. Let's see.
The person who won the Disc Dynasty weekly fantasy thing, which you should download Disc Dynasty if you haven't, by the way, fantasy disc golf app. They had Paul Oman.
Yeah,
That was like their big separator.
I was close to picking him just because he dominates Waco.
Waco's WACO, man.
What was the other event you said that Redalen had his best finish at? D-Glow? So is that what we're going to be watching out for? Like there are just so many other players that like they dominate D-Glow. Like that's just going to be tough. That's a tough ask. Winning on the Pro Tour, man, it's not easy.
Never said it was easy.
I hope he wins. I hope he proves me wrong.
I hope he wins early in the season so I get a lot of Chick-fil-A.
That's the thing too. Is D-Glow is not until a while.
No,
from now.
if he wins, it's probably going to be an Idlewild or D-Glow or like something in like August.
He's got a lot of pressure on him now.
No, he doesn't. He probably doesn't even listen to this. But if you do, Cole,
Surely that somebody's going to send him like the 10-minute segment we just did on him. That was like the longest we've ever talked about a player. We don't even talk about Eagle that much when he wins, and people get mad about us.
Yeah. Because it's not
All right.
surprising when Eagle wins.
All right, this is the game we're playing today. Let me just finish.
We should have made a bet on will Eagle finish in the top 10 this year.
Yes. Come on now.
I already said he wasn't going to win this year.
Don't you dare.
You did. That was one of your takes.
All right, this is the game today is kind of like a Price is Right situation, but not really. Basically, I'm going to name. We'll go. You guys versus each other, and I'm going to name 2 discs. I'm scrolling through sold discs on eBay, and I'm going to name 2, and you guys got to name which one was priced higher or which one sold for higher. These are sold discs.
Okay. I like it. Here we go. Satellite radio.
Okay. The first one will go to Hunter. Well, I'll give you each 3.
Okay.
The first, we got Discmania DD3 S-Line, brand new. This is the Innova molded one.
Okay. I was going to say a stock disc.
Versus Innova Halo Leopard 3 first run, no flight numbers, whatever that means. I guess that's the first run. Which one sold for more on eBay?
Are they both? Well, can you?
These are both new.
They're both new.
Yeah.
I would like to think the DD3 sold for more, but I'm assuming the reason you're asking me is because the Leopard sold for more. But I'm not going to play your mind game, so I'm going with the DD3.
The DD3 sold
his
for
mind
$55. The Leopard 3 went for $95.
Someone got scammed.
I did not.
Halo.
You guys
Halo,
gotta
man.
understand. I'm not.
But you can still
I didn't
buy that
plan-
disc.
I didn't plan these.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm scrolling
Yeah,
as
but
I
dude,
go and finding
All
good
you gotta do
matchups.
is
So
take a
there's-
Halo disc and put some kind
There's no
of
mind
fun
games
phrase
going
on there
here.
and sell it for $45 at USDGC. You're good to go.
Well, but here's the thing: is you can still buy a Halo Leopard 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Not a
we'll have
first
flight
run.
numbers, but you can't get an Innova molded DD3
Okay.
anymore.
I agree with you.
We got for Konner
I
here.
think that's silly.
We got a brand new 2020 Nate Sexton Innova Champion Color Glow Firebird.
Okay.
2020.
2020.
Versus a Discraft Test Flight Zone OS double stamped.
Ooh, do you go the hype or the classic?
Both brand new.
Oh man, that is a tough one because like obviously the Sextons go for well, but I don't think 2020s were crazy. The hype of the Zone OS.
I want Chick-fil-A so bad.
That sounds amazing. Chick-fil-A sounds
so
incredible.
Come on, Cole.
The Zone. Oh, that's a tough one for
That's
me.
gonna be very fun to follow. Like when he I'm sure
I'm
at least
buying Cole Redalen
I'm sure
merch.
at least one time in the rest of the year he will get into contention again. Hopefully, because I think it'd be electric and like that'll be hilarious. to watch.
I'm following the hype. I've
gotta
seen
do
those
more of those.
Discraft boys.
I agree with you.
They they buy for a lot. I'm going to the Zone OS.
I would agree with your answer.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The Sexton only went for $50. That Zone.
I've been hurt by being humiliated.
That Zone
by
OS
Sexton
went for
prices before.
90. Went for 90.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never heard of someone really wanting a 2020 Sexton.
Yeah.
I think by that point is when they were getting like kind of mass produced to where like if you wanted one, you got your hands on one.
Yeah.
I just anytime.
But
Sexton
Zone
Firebirds,
OS,
I mean,
everyone wants one right now.
yeah, for good reason. It seems sick.
So hot right now. That meme, you know what I mean?
No, sir.
From the modeling movie Blue Steel. What's that? Zoolander.
Okay.
Never
Will
seen
Ferrell. You've never seen Zoolander? Is that's the movie, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like
no,
fun,
no.
though.
I don't think. Yeah, Will Ferrell's in Zoolander. I think.
That's with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. Yeah,
yeah.
and then
Will Ferrell's the bad guy.
Ferrell's the fashion guy.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there with this little dog, and it's like the meme's just him sitting there. And he's like, so
Okay.
hot right now.
Okay, Hunter.
That's not how he says it, but that's how I read it.
We've got Innova Glow Pro Pig Team Stamped, brand new.
Low Pro Pig.
Team Stamp Glow Pro Pig. Robbie C probably bought this for
Versus-
$15,000.
Versus brand new Discraft Paul Macbeth 6x Z Luna.
Z Luna.
Yeah, it's a 6x one. The 6x ones they made. So they're crystal, I guess, technically.
I didn't even see those.
It's like they look exactly the same as the 5x ones they made.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why I didn't see it. And what was this? The pig?
It's a
Team
Team
Stamp
Stamp
Glow?
Glow Pro Pig. Oops.
I feel like the Luna hype's died somewhat recently. But was there ever pig hype?
No.
But it's team stamped.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't play Trevor's mental games the first time and I lost. I'm also not going to play him this time. And I'm going to go with the Luna.
It is the pig.
Dang it all. I need to play Trevor's mental games.
I
The
would have
pig went for $133.
Oh
Yeah,
my
team stamp.
The
gosh.
Luna went for 55.
Team stamp just throws so much on there, man.
All right. Well, if Connor gets this one, he wins.
Connor wins either way. I didn't get either. And he already got one.
No, you each get 3, and he's only got one. You get-
for some
you get
reason-
to force playoff.
True. But I got 2 more chances to win.
You do have 2 shots at the dub.
Okay.
Unless you want to make the last one worth 2. Double or nothing.
Put a kayak on it?
Let's see. Let's find some good ones here. Man, so many people sell Sextons. It's hilarious. Okay, let's go. Discmania Doombird 3 Swirly S Line FD3.
Doombird 3.
The Doombird 3 Swirly S Line.
Swirly S line. So okay, gotcha.
And this one is not brand new. It's in like near
The
new
Doombird?
condition, but not brand new. Doombird 3
Okay.
versus a. Let's go. Let me find a good one for. Okay, let's go with this. Discraft 6x Paul Macbeth ESP Buzz. So these are the new 6 claw buzzes that just came out. This is brand new. And just to say the whole title, it says it's a glitter and color shift are the 2 foils.
Doombird 3.
You're saying that's a more expensive one?
Yes.
Wrong.
Dang.
That Doombird went for $64. That Buzz went for $100.
I didn't think
Pretty
it'd be
crazy.
that. I didn't think
recent hype is still just like.
I didn't think it'd be that hard for the Doombird to go.
All right, Hunter.
above
This is do or die. That was a tough one, Connor. All right, Hunter. This is do or die for you. Let's find some good ones.
I need to stop thinking that Trevor's asking me the question and just listen to
Okay, this is a good.
I'm trying
this
to play
is a good one
Trevor's mental
start.
games while he's scrolling.
A rare Discraft Z Test Flight Machete, brand new,
That thing should be worth like $15 in a stick of bubble gum.
versus
I hate the machete.
It's okay.
Brody loves it.
this is a
I think it's
great one.
all right.
Versus a new Discraft Swirly ESP Test Flight Venom. That's a tough matchup.
Look, based on Connor's, what has been given to Connor, the recent Discraft hype wins out.
It didn't for your last one though.
True.
But that's not that recent. But I guess the Venom is now out. Can you tell me the sold dates, or is that illegal?
They were both sold around March 11th.
2 days ago. The Venom was already out. Machete.
Correct. Machete $68. The Venom $52.
Gotta
All right.
follow the date trail,
So
baby.
if Connor gets this wrong, we're gonna have to go to a tiebreaker round. Let's see. Let's find some good ones. This is fun.
Yeah. I hit my legs way harder than I intended. Right
Okay, we've got a CE Firebird, first run,
What?
never thrown, brand new.
Wow.
Brand spanking new
That's
first
pretty
run CE
nuts.
Firebird.
Today's market, that's probably worth
That's like
20,
$16.
15, yeah.
Versus. Let's go ahead and find a good one to put it against. There's some fascinating things on here. All right, I want to make sure I find a good one here. Okay. Man, a lot of people selling their Zone OSs right now. They are going for a ton of money. Okay, versus, here's a good one. 11-time Innova champion T-Bird, signed by Ken Climo.
The Firebird.
That's correct.
Yeah, I was gonna
Firebird
agree.
went for $150. The T-Bird went for $100 though.
I'll say
Signatures
the age,
don't.
I'll say the age of disc golf we're in. I think the signature devalued that T-Bird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's different Kens.
Being a Ken Climo signature though, it's already signed by Ken technically. So I don't know.
Well, not actually.
Clearly, it didn't devalue it because an 11-time T-Bird would not be $100 without that signature. Because it was a pre-owned one too.
Something to think about, man.
All right, we got to go into. Or no, you win.
No, he won.
He won.
I won.
He won outright.
Good job, Connor.
Woo! Thank you.
Con win. All right. Being bracket season, I thought, how fun will it be if we do a little disc golf bracket challenge?
Okay.
So
And
we're
then
just
I
gonna do
thought
MPO.
that would be fun.
We're just gonna do MPO, and we just gotta debate who would win head-to-head stroke play. Should we pick a course this is
This
at?
is not going to go well.
We're gonna say this is at.
New London.
That's actually not a bad idea because we know that course really well.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we'll do New London.
And that way there's no actual precedent.
actual precedent.
So we can't just be looking up stats.
This is New London.
Well,
So-
we know who's going to win the bracket, though, immediately.
Yeah, if we go New London, it's gonna be Paul.
Paul will
win.
win the bracket no matter what.
Okay, so I think we
The
gotta
problem
go.
is this
Dang.
whole thing is going to be kind of like it's going to come. It's going to be a lot of matchups where it's like, okay.
No, okay, you know
flip a
what?
coin.
We're gonna say
Because there's so many of these matchups. It's like, ding.
I think it'd be fun.
My point is, I
agree
guess,
it'd be fun.
if you say Paul versus Rick, I'm going to disagree with you because nothing I say matters.
Okay, so we'll just ignore Trevor. It'll be me versus
Okay.
me and Connor will do this.
Because for this, it's
it's not gonna be Paul versus
Because what
Rick.
are we going to argue about if it was Paul versus Rick? What am I going to say?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Does this not sound fun? I can skip it.
Maybe you could say like
I wanted to have a
maybe
good
on,
time.
No, you and
Maybe
Connor.
at New London, it'd be really nice to have Rick's forehand or something.
Well, yeah, I would say at a course we would have something to argue, but then we do have to
we'll
pick
just
a
go
course.
New London.
Okay,
We're going
Let's
New
go
London.
New London because we haven't seen these players play. Maybe there's someone that you can have an argument against Paul.
Yeah, why don't we
Okay.
all just choose to participate and have fun?
Yeah,
okay,
Josh,
Trevor.
not everything has to be so frickin'.
Freaking.
So matchup number one, we have Ricky Wysocki versus Anthony Barella.
I thought you were gonna say Paul McBeth.
Rick would definitely beat AB.
Yeah,
Connor,
I think
you
I
have an
feel
opinion?
I feel Rick there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
if Anthony
only
Barrella's
argument that would be
consistent enough
made
at
for
New London.
AB is
He doesn't have enough finesse. He's never.
no. I would agree. I agree. It should be Ricky. I'm just saying the only argument there is a forehand doesn't help you that much on the front 6 holes.
You're right, but I think just the more consistency.
He's a
is
better
important,
player.
I
of
think
course.
Ricky's a better backhand player than AB in the woods.
Yeah.
So I think that's what edges Ricky on. All right, the next matchup we have Matty O versus Simon Lizotte. That's a tough one, huh?
That is a tough one.
Simon
I think.
versus Matty O.
I think.
I'm leaning Matty O.
Oh.
I probably like Matteo as well.
The Simon's distance would be a big advantage at New London,
Yeah.
but I feel like you need just consistent shots inbounds, and what we've learned recently
And he doesn't know
is
his
Matteo
disc super well.
Matteo is also like top 5 at every event he plays.
distance doesn't matter that much. out
And
there.
also, he doesn't. You really need to know your discs really well out there, and Simon doesn't know his discs that
true.
well right now.
that is
yeah,
true.
Matteo.
All right, we'll go Matty O
Matteo
advances
is-
over Simon.
Matteo is so good. He just doesn't win any.
He is
All
good.
right,
I
the
love
next
Matty-O.
matchup we have Gannon Burr versus Corey Ellis.
That's actually tough, but I got to give it to Gannon.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
I think Gannon Burr has a shot at winning this whole thing. Gannon Burr. I mean, Gannon's backhand's incredible.
It
Cannon
is
Burr.
a sick back end.
All right, next up we have the 4 seed of Calvin Heimberg versus the 13 seed of Joel Freeman.
You guys think it's funny how Gannon Burr is
Probably
always
Calvin.
posting like videos and on Instagram of him like throwing putts 1,000 miles an hour and them chaining straight out and then being like just certain things I couldn't control in the course. I'm like, well, you could have like thrown that putt softer.
Yeah.
Like I respect your putt and like I get it, but like don't post.
I think
that.
the last one I saw that he posted I saw it this morning was an uphill one.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
he just darted.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a common denominator, right?
Yeah.
And
it
like,
was
I know you're
windy.
smart enough to know that.
Yeah.
You hit the basket too hard going uphill.
Calvin Heimberg versus Joel Freeman.
Heimberg,
Calvin,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's dominant at WR.
All right, next up, we have Kyle Klein versus Kevin Jones.
That's
Kyle
tough.
Klein versus Kevin Jones. I'm going
Kyle won Idlewild.
Yeah, that's true. Got to give it to Kyle.
And we
Klein.
got to go
Yeah,
Kyle
I
Klein. The
feel
top
Kyle
seed
Klein
has
there.
won every one of these so far, which is very depressing to me. I wanted an upset.
It's going to continue to happen.
All right,
as well.
next we have
We're about to
no. Here we go.
We're about to make a scratch bracket.
Eagle McMahon versus Isaac Robinson.
I would actually give Isaac
I
Robinson.
think I'm going Isaac
I go
Robinson.
Isaac
Yeah,
there.
I don't think Eagle would be that good at this course.
Eagle's not winning this year, remember.
Yeah. Well,
Isaac
that's
could
your
make a
opinion.
sneaky run out there.
I think
Not
Eagle's
going to lie to you. 14 seed is tough for Isaac. We have Chris Dickerson versus Nicholas Antela.
Dickerson.
I mean,
Yeah.
no offense, Nicholas.
Chris Dickerson could tear up at New London.
Well, Dickerson I don't think should be. Well, after Waco, maybe he should, but I don't think he should be down at 7th.
Yeah, he came in 22nd at Waco.
I would like to see him play.
All right, and the final matchup we have is Sir Paul Macbeth versus Adam Hammes.
Paul.
I mean, this would, I think, be a lot closer than we think.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
because think of Adam Hammes at WR Jackson. He plays that course very well.
Well, I would say it's only not going to be close just because of how well Paul knows the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could remove that from our brain and just look at it objectively going
Paul,
into that course.
Paul like helped design the whole thing. Like he knows it so well.
I agree that Paul would,
He's
on
gonna-
average,
he'd wipe
beat
the
Adam.
field.
But, all right, we have Ricky versus Matty O now.
I gotta take Rick.
I think Matty O, personally.
Well, I mean, there's
Well, yeah,
no
because
precedent
Ricky's.
for that.
Well, because
So there's
Ricky's
no precedent
wrist.
for any of this. No one's played this
But I'm
course.
just saying, Matty-O. I'm just saying, like Matty-O, go head to head with him and Rick. Like Rick will beat him more often than not.
I think this course plays more to Matty O's strength than Ricky's strength.
Ricky's strength is everything. Ricky is just good at everything.
I feel
I don't think Ricky does not have this is his, like he's just good at everything. He's good at putting, he's good at backhands, he's good at forehands.
I mean, it's up to Konner.
He's good at everything.
Oh, goodness.
Saying Matty-O is better
Yeah,
than Rick at that course is just nuts.
I just feel like I don't think it'd be nuts for Matty O to beat
it wouldn't
Ricky
be
at New London.
insane, but like if you
it's
gave
not
me,
nuts.
if I had
but
to,
I would go.
if I had to
feel
bet
like
money on it,
based
I would
off
put
of-
Rick. Like if somebody said you have
Yeah.
$100 to bet, you'd really put
I'm
on
not betting
Matty-O.
on Ricky or Matty O.
Well, no, you have to. One or the other. You're
On this
taking
game?
Matty-O, or you're
I'm probably
taking
making
Rick.
a sneaky parlay with Matty O.
Oh my gosh!
And it's all gonna be
You're
banking
backing
on him
down
winning.
now. You're backing down.
that?
You don't believe that.
If I had to put, I mean,
You
first
don't
off,
believe
if I'm in a
that.
scenario where I put $100, I'm not picking the Ricky Matty O.
But
You
you
have
have
to.
to.
You have to.
It's just who's
It's
going to
bonus
place
bet
higher.
for them. It's a bonus
It's just
bet.
who's
It's a
going to
bonus.
place
It's
higher.
free money. Bonus bet. I'm giving $100
Oh
on
my
FanDuel and I
gosh.
put it on someone. The odds for Matty O
Just
are
the
way
way
better.
you're having to spin this is
I
telling me that you
could
don't
probably
believe
win
what you're saying.
$1,000 if I put it on
no,
Matty
Okay,
O.
Hunter.
There,
Well, you got outvoted, so it
you
doesn't
have to-
matter.
No,
I didn't
you
get
have to
outvoted
bet.
yet.
You have to
Connor?
bet, and it's your life.
No,
It's your
Connor,
life.
just say
All
Rick.
right, it's Rick.
Thank you. We move on from that chaos.
I don't like being shamed.
Hunter is just fighting the scratch bracket that is
I
about
don't.
to be formed
Hunter,
so
I
hard.
understand
What's
your
Gannon
logic.
versus Calvin?
Well, your logic, Hunter, is not
Gannon versus
Matty
Calvin.
O will win. Your logic is Matty O could win.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
we agree with you.
He could win.
Yeah, he could
but
win.
more times than not, Ricky would be.
Yeah, I just think Ricky would do.
We're just making a bracket.
more times than
yeah.
We're
not.
having fun, guys. This is fun.
I hate this.
More times than not, I'd actually.
Gannon versus Calvin. I'm done with this
I'd
conversation.
actually
Oh.
take. I'd actually take Calvin probably.
I think I'm still going.
That's
Gannon.
so hard. I don't know.
I think I'm still
Those
going
two in
Gannon.
my mind are like very equal.
Yeah.
But Calvin, I feel like has a little more of that dog in him. I don't know.
I'm going Gannon.
If you take the first two events of the year, Calvin has had two better events, so I have recency bias right now.
But they've been very opposite of this course.
It's very true. But Calvin also
I like.
proven winner in the
really
woods.
hard. That is a hard one.
I
that might be the
like
hardest one
Gannon-
so far.
Gannon hasn't won in the
shot
woods,
shape.
though.
I
Gannon-
like Gannon's shot shape for New London woods are different.
Yeah,
Gannon throws a
Yeah,
lot of
they are.
hyzer flip ups.
he does.
And I like
Yeah.
that more than Calvin's flat to Annie game.
I feel like I don't even think that's true though. What I was about to say.
Because Gannon, like, you got to think the first several holes, Gannon's mistake is going to be safer than Calvin's mistake.
All right, yeah, let's take Gannon.
I like Gannon.
Food for thought. Let's take Gannon.
Yeah, I'm okay with Gannon. That's the hardest matchup so far. I think.
That's tough, dude.
This is going to be a tough one.
This is a tough one as
Kyle
well.
Klein versus Isaac Robinson. I think Isaac Robinson. They both won Idlewild previously.
It's such a coin toss.
Isaac Robinson's the best putter on the face of the
but he
planet.
doesn't throw far.
But he doesn't. But you don't need to throw that far.
But it helps.
Helps
It
a
does
lot.
help, but you
Helps
don't
a
have
lot.
to. Also, the farther you throw, the harder you kick.
I would still, you know what? I can say though, it would give me like a little bit of trouble.
I'll
to
put
bet
you in the
on.
same scenario. You have $100. You have to put it on.
The
someone.
problem is I've got the recency bias again, where like Kyle Klein has had a better start to the year.
But the two events mean nothing.
But they do
compared
it.
to New London.
They do in the sense of momentum. Like if this, I'm thinking if this were happening tomorrow.
I'm thinking of this as 2024.
I don't know
Worlds.
what my answer is, but I don't want to have to make the decision.
Yeah,
so
if
I'm just going to say
2024,
Kyle Klein so that Trevor has to make the decision.
Nice.
I also agree with Kyle Klein.
Oh, dang it. Now it made it sound like I made the decision.
Yeah, way to make the decision.
Kyle's a dog.
I think Isaac Robinson. It doesn't matter because either
They're both losing to Paul, anyways.
I mean, you do have
Trevor,
to have,
we're having fun.
We'll put Paul in, but you can't just like brush Chris Dickerson aside of this course.
I
No,
agree.
but
I
I
think
think
Chris
Paul-
Dickerson would be sick
I think they
at
would
this
be very
course.
effective, but then Paul would win with his knowledge of the course. And I'd say
Okay, I wish we could remove the knowledge of
We
the course
can't.
side
We can't.
from this.
We
Like if
can't.
you just put, I still am taking Paul if you just put them both out there because I think it suits Paul's game more than Dickerson. But I think
if you
Paul's
take
beating him.
if you take the knowledge of the course thing out, then like
I
Paul,
think we're going an
Paul
average-
probably wins until he gets to like maybe against Rick or Gannon, and then I'd maybe say he can lose, but he's still winning the next 2 rounds.
I think we're going, but I think Paul beats Dickerson by an average of like 1 or 2 strokes, maybe.
Yeah, I get that.
I think Chris is gonna
Sure.
shred. Now this matchup here, no one was ever.
Paul beats Kyle.
Whether it's Isaac or no matter
I don't know
who
what
came
the
out of this
matchup is.
bottom one, it's Kyle versus Paul.
Okay.
No matter who came out of that bottom one,
Yeah.
Kyle Klein, Isaac Robinson, we're not beating Dickerson or Paul out there. Ricky v. Gannon.
No, it's Gannon v Prodigy.
Ricky v. Gannon for the Final Four matchup.
Still waiting on an update on that hearing, guys. I'm sorry.
Ricky versus Gannon. I'll probably.
I honestly like Gannon a little more. I feel like I like Gannon.
That's where I was thinking, but I'm not. I wasn't going to speak because as soon as I speak, it flips everyone.
I'm gonna
So
say
I
going
was
Gannon.
thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna say Gannon.
Gannon versus Paul.
I have to say Paul.
Yeah. What do you think, Hunter?
It doesn't matter what I think, man.
It matters what you
Paul
think.
wins.
I haven't
Paul wins,
said
and we're
my
never
answer.
doing another bracket.
Sick bracket.
I'm
bro.
willing to hear you out on Gannon, dude. If
Hey,
you want
I
to talk
thought
about
that'd
Gannon,
be a fun thing.
Let's hear you out.
I had a
man.
great time, Hunter.
Let's hear you out, big
All
guy.
right, let's get into the power rankings here. As they stand currently, we have Calvin Heimberg 1, Ricky Wysocki 2, Paul Macbeth 3, Gannon Burr 4, Eagle McMahon 5, Matty O 6, Kyle Klein 7, Simon 8, Dickerson 9, KJ 10. I think some things got to shake up here. Chris Dickerson, I think, gone. Simon Lizotte didn't play. He's got to stay there. Ricky Wysocki, the unknown could drop him some.
I think it needs to a little bit. I think Paul at 3 is probably pretty fine. Gannon at 4 is okay. I think Eagle gets jumped. I think Eagle and Kyle probably swap places at least.
I'm fine with that.
At least.
Well, I think Dickerson's gone. I think we move Kevin to 9. I think we sneak maybe Joel Freeman into 10.
Okay. I'm trying to think of who else was up there that was like relevant. Yeah, get the rankings up. This is always nerve-wracking.
So players not in our top 10, Adam Hammes. Came in second.
And how did he play at Las
Vegas?
Vegas? What's his start to the season looked like?
We had Adam
There's a
Hammes.
faster way to do that.
What?
Like click on his UDIS player profile.
Well, but I want to be able to constantly reference this. Hammes came in 30th at Vegas.
Okay.
KJ went.
KJ deserves where he
KJ
is.
moves up. So KJ 9, I like.
But Simon wasn't there.
No, Simon's
I
not
wouldn't
playing
have
this.
a problem. I would not have a problem with KJ moving up another spot and Simon sliding down one more.
Where's Joel Freeman? Joel Freeman came 27th at Vegas. So him and Hammes had a very similar start, but Hammes finished second there. So I think Hammes sneaks into the top 10.
I think you put Kevin into 8th.
You put Simon in 9.
Simon in 9th. Yeah, I like that. And I'm honestly,
Kyle Klein obviously needs to move up.
Eagle probably has to skid a little bit. Yeah, he does. I think you swap him and Kyle right now.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because I think Kyle getting the win, like you should jump a decent bit up that leaderboard.
Kyle Klein.
So right now we've got Heimberg, Wysocki, Macbeth, Burr, Klein. Yeah, Rick is sitting in that 2 spot. We're getting very ominously close to turning that into a ghost spot.
Well, the tough part is if we can't, like Paul finished. Where the heck is Paul?
He ended up finishing like
13th.
Yeah.
So like it's hard for me to jump him over Rick.
No, that's what I'm saying. Rick is turning himself into a ghost. It's getting very ominously close.
Where did Gannon finish?
He wasn't too far back.
24th.
Oh, he ended up falling off a little bit.
So, like, Ricky or Paul and Gannon can't jump Rick.
Yeah.
Because, like, what would Rick have done if he was there?
Do we just let it sit there?
So I think we have to let Rick sit until Paul or Gannon take it from Rick.
Okay.
Because if they would have come top 10, I think I'd have been like, yeah, there's an argument to move him up. But, like,
yeah.
the only other player we didn't touch was Matty O. What did he do this weekend? I think he had a good finish.
He did what he always does.
7th place.
Yeah. If Matty O in 7th place are peanut butter and jelly, man. The dude is always like 5th, 6th, or 7th.
All right, now FPO, Kristin Tattar stays 1. She won, so we had her in the right spot.
Ella
Katrina Allen
Hansen's got
2,
to
Paige
jump in
Pierce
here.
is 3, Valerie Mandahano 4, Missy Gannon 5.
Missy Gannon shot even par for the tournament.
So let's just move Ella Hansen in. And I think that being injured helps Valerie Mandahano, and she jumps up to at least 3rd place. Because Paige Pierce needs to be punished for finishing.
I think you just swap Ella and Paige right now. I got to be honest with you.
Put Ella to 3rd?
I got to say, yeah. After 2 events, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Because she was in Vegas. You know, she was in it.
She did play the event.
Well, no, she was
4th.
like, yeah.
She came in 4th.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Ella probably deserves. In my mind, that's kind of how things feel right now.
That's fine. That's
she
fair.
feels like one of the big
Kristin
contenders
Tattar
right now.
1, Katrina Allen 2, Ella Hansen 3, Valerie Mandahano 4, Paige Pierce 5.
I like that.
All right, so total rankings. That's the FPO.
What about the Skogs?
Own Scoggins.
Get owned?
Do we just bump Paige out of the top 5?
Bro, what did Own do in Vegas?
She came in 3rd. Oh, Vegas. Own Scoggins in Vegas.
So she didn't play well in Vegas.
8th.
Oof. Paige.
I think we keep Paige on, but Paige is on.
She's hanging on. She's on probation.
Watch.
She's on probation right now.
If Own Scoggins beats her at the next event.
If she gets owned again,
Yeah.
she's in trouble. Own
NPO
Scoggins is basically the Matty O, where like she's not going to win, but she is going to be top 5 all the time.
MPO, this is where the rankings ended up. To wrap up the show, Adam Ham is 10th place. Simon Lizotte 9, Kevin Jones 8, Eagle McMahon 7, Matty O 6, Kyle Klein 5, Gannon Burr 4, Paul Macbeth 3, Ricky Wysocki 2, Calvin Heimberg 1st place. Power rankings.
I feel comfortable with that. Let us know in the comments how much you hate them.
Yeah, let us know why you hate the fact that we don't have Joel Freeman in there when he was 9 down through 8.
Parker,
Don't worry about the rest of it.
Parker.
All right, that's the show. Sorry for the bracket game, everyone. I won't let it happen again. I'll never do any relevant fun games ever
I thought it was a
again.
great time, Hunter.
No, what I should have done is I should have went 17 to 32.
That would, yeah, you're right. But who wants? I mean,
It wouldn't have been as it would have been more electric to debate it out, but we
Yeah.
also would have been.
You're right.
debating players that like
Let's
you would
just-
have
let's just
picked
see.
Cole Redalen to win, dude. Where is Redalen in the world rankings?
I don't know. So 17 to 32, we would have had like James Conrad v. Cole Redalen, matchup 1. That would have been electric.
This guy you would have picked Cole Redalen to win just so you could say you had a win.
No, James Conrad would have won that. You would have had Sexton v.
I'm
Aaron
pretty-
Gossage.
I'm
This would have
pretty
been a much more
excited.
electric bracket. I apologize.
I'm pretty excited about this Cole Redalen thing. I just want him to know that I'm his biggest fan this year. I'll be rooting him on.
You're not. You
Because
hate
when
him.
I root for players, they do not win.
You hate his guts. Cole Redalen.
Do I need to pick him as my dark horse if he's possible, like every week? Because wouldn't that used to be the curse? Like that was like the thing.
Cole Redalen. I'm going to find this guy's merch.
Merch, dude. You know he's not.
He has a logo.
You know he's not merched up.
Dope Discs has it.
No,
I don't
he-
even know what Dope Discs
He's
is.
merched up.
That is him when he was 12.
I got to study this guy's game, man.
All right. Here we go. That's all. Be sure to tune into the preview show to learn a lot more about the Open at Austin this Thursday.
Kind of a cool logo.
The preview show on Thursday. You can learn everything you need
Robbie
to know
CR?
about. It looks like it about the Open at Austin coming up this weekend, and then we'll be right back, same time, same place next week to break down what all goes down in disc golf this week. Talk to you then.
Sick, man.